Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is $120 billion. That number is so astronomically large that your brain simply cannot process what it actually means. But let me try to destroy your understanding of money. With some comparisons that will make you question everything you know about wealth, Mark makes approximately $11.4 million every single day. That means every 37 minutes, he earns what the average person makes in their entire lifetime of working. While you're commuting to work, sitting in a meeting, or eating lunch, Mark has already outturned your entire career. Think about that. Your whole life's work, 40 years of grinding. Mark surpasses that before most people finish their morning coffee. But let's get even more ridiculous. If you earned $50,000 per year, which is a solid middle-class salary, you would need to work for 2.4 million years to reach Mark's current wealth. That's longer than humans have existed as a species. You could start working when our ancestors first discovered fire and you still would catch up to Mark by the time we invented the internet. Here's where it gets absolutely insane. Mark makes $475,000 every single hour. That's more than most people's annual salary earned while he's sleeping, eating, or just existing. In the time it takes to watch a movie, Mark has made over $1 million. During a typical 8-hour workday, he earns $3.8 million. That's enough to buy a mansion every single day. Let's talk about what $120 billion actually looks like in physical form. If you've converted all of Mark's wealth into $100 bills, it would weigh 1,200 tons. That's heavier than 8 Boeing 747s. Stack those bills and you'd have a tower 12,000 miles high, which is halfway to the International Space Station. You'd need an entire fleet of cargo planes just to transport all that cash. Now here's a comparison that will melt your brain. If Mark decided to spend $1 million every single day buying supercars, private jets, entire city blocks, he would need 328 years to spend all his money. That's longer than the United States has existed as a country. He could have started his million-dollar-day spending spree when George Washington was born, and he'd just now be running out of cash. But wait, it gets even more ridiculous. While Mark is trying to spend that $1 million daily, his investments and stock appreciation are making him over $11 million per day. So he'd actually get richer by $10 million every day while attempting to go broke. It's mathematically impossible for him to spend his wealth faster than it grows. Let's put this in terms of countries, because Mark's wealth transcends normal human comparisons. With $120 billion, Mark has more money than the entire annual GDP of 130 countries combined. He's literally richer than Ukraine, Kenya, Ecuador, and 127 other nations. One human being has more wealth than entire civilizations of millions of people. Here's something that will break your understanding of economics. Mark could give every single person in America, all 330 million people, $360 each, and he'd still be a billionaire. Could hand out more money than many people make in a week to literally every American citizen and barely dent his fortune. Or think about it this way. The average American household has a net worth of about $121,000.
Mike has enough money to match the net worth of 1 million average American families.
That's the equivalent wealth of the entire city of San Antonio, Texas, concentrated in one person. But here's the most mind-bending comparison of all. If Mark's wealth was measured in seconds, it would equal 3,800 years. If it was grains of rice, you could feed the entire population of India for 4 months. If it was footsteps, you could walk to the moon and back 37 times. The insanity doesn't stop there. Mark's wealth grows so fast that in the time you've even listening to this, about 3 minutes, he's already made over $1.4 million. That's more than most people's lifetime savings earned while I explain how rich he already is. Let's talk about purchasing power. Mark could buy every single NFL team and still have $20 billion left over. He could purchase Harvard University, the school he famously dropped out of, and use it as his personal book club. He could buy the entire country of Ghana. His GDP is only $76 billion, and still have enough left over to buy New Zealand too. Here's a comparison that will hurt your brain. If you saved every single penny you ever earned and never spent a dime on food, shelter, clothes, or anything else, and you lived for 100 lifetimes, you still wouldn't have even half of what Mark has right now. The gap between Mark and a regular millionaire is bigger than the gap between a millionaire and someone who's completely broke. The most surreal part. Mark created this impossible wealth by building a website where people share photos of their lunch and argue with strangers about politics. He turned human social interaction into the most valuable commodity on Earth. Every time someone likes a post, shares a meme, or scrolls through their feed, they're generating wealth for Mark. And here's the kicker. Mark is only 39 years old. He's got potentially 40 more years to accumulate wealth. If his net worth continues growing at its current rate, he could become the first trillionaire in human history. That's a number so large we don't even have good comparisons for it. The most incredible part? Most of Mark's wealth doesn't even exist in physical form. It's digital ones and zeros in computer servers, stock certificates, and data about what billions of people click on. He became one of the richest humans in history by collecting information about what makes people laugh, cry, and get angry online. So the next time you're scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, remember this. Every click, every like, every share is adding to a fortune so massive that it defies human comprehension. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't just have money. He has economic power that rivals entire nations, all built from understanding what people want to see on their phones. In the 5 minutes you've spent listening to this, Mark Zuckerberg has made approximately $1.9 million. Sweet dreams.